This is Cardinal Media from the World War II Vanguard Museum of Eglise here in Normandy. This is Cardinal Media from the World War II Vanguard Museum of Eglise here in Normandy. We are in the town of Sainte Eglise, where in June 6, 1944, men of the 505th Parachute Infantry Regiment of the 82nd Airborne liberated it, becoming the first French town to be liberated on D-Day. Up there you can see that there's a statue of John Steele. John Steele being a paratrooper of the 82nd Airborne from the 505th Parachute Infantry Regiment, who landed up and was stuck there during the night before a few hours before the main invasion on the beaches. While men of the 82nd Airborne landed all around this area, a lot of men landed in the town and were shot by German troops. Finally, by the same time, June 6, 1944, Major Krauss, commander of the 3rd Battalion of the 505th Parachute Infantry Regiment of the 82nd Airborne, took the town of Sainte Eglise. This important and vital town was one of the objectives of the 82nd Airborne during D-Day. While the 82nd Airborne was tasked with taking bridges and crossroads leading to Utah Beach, they were also tasked with taking this important town. Today, Sainte Eglise stands as a significant point in the introduction of D-Day and World War II altogether. Not only is its church and John Steele an iconic site, but the Airborne Museum and the various other elements and memorials give proof that this town is the most significant and probably one of the most important towns in Normandy when it comes to the Airborne, in particular the 82nd Airborne. Right, we are in the Sainte Eglise Airborne Museum. So as I explained earlier, Sainte Eglise was taken by the 82nd Airborne, the 505th Parachute Infantry Regiment, and this is the Airborne Museum right over here, and you can take a look at the place around. Alright, so a Sherman tank, there we got a German 88, and then we got the Sainte Eglise Church and John Steele viewpoint from the museum. So the museum basically has three sections. There's the C-47 section, which we're going to check out first. Then we got the Operation Neptune section. And there's a church section on the back over there. So basically I've been to this museum like in the year of 2017. I believe there were some changes. I cannot really see it from here. And yeah, we're gonna check out the probably obviously named after the C-47 airplane, C-42nd Dakota. The shape is modern. I don't know if I'm entering from the right side. Yep, that's it. Alright, so you're greeted with this statue of an American paratrooper, and wow. Now that's something, isn't it? So this is the M42 jumpsuit. Yeah, you can see that it's obviously, you know, of course it's unreinforced, but it's complete. So it's the M2 helmet, it's the M42 jumpsuit, the canopies and everything else, and they also have, you know, the main chute itself. This is the model M41, not to be mistaken with the M41 field jacket. This was like the first paratrooper model uniform introduced to the United States Army during World War II. And you can see it's quite similar to the M42, slightly with some differences on the pocket. It was never used in combat, but it is quite iconic. So this is the BIHBT. It's an overall for the mechanics of the Air Force, the first American airborne uniform. Here we got the M41, the second American airborne, not to be confused with the M41 field jacket. And here we got the M1942, the iconic one. You can see the parachutes behind me, all the different sorts, and the C-47. These are the jump boots. And here we got the American paratrooper uniform. Now, this is quite interesting. It's for different operations. We got Operation Torch. So as far as I know, it was the 509th who first dropped in. They were not part of the 82nd. They were an independent unit. They dropped in an Operation Torch in Oceania and Algeria. It was quite a long flight. Here we got Operation Husky, where the elements of the 82nd Airborne, like the 505th and the 504th, dropped into Sicily. You can see the camouflage on their helmets. They're wearing the unreinforced M42 and equipment for 1943. This was in July 1943 Operation Husky, where the men of the 82nd were to take pivotal points behind Gela, and they were heavily scattered by the winds. And here we have Operation Avalanche in Salerno in September 1943. Now, unlike the other operations where the Airborne went in first, Operation Avalanche was different. We had the infantry, or the ground forces of General Clark's 5th Army, go to Salerno, and then the 82nd came in for support. But they did a hell of a good job. The 504th fought in Altavilla, and the 505th in Pompeii. That's pretty amazing. The flag of the 505th, the Jack of War and the American Eagle. Here's some helmets. And these are the weapons used. So that's the Thompson M1928A1, was used in Sicily and Salerno. We have the M1A1 carbine, the bazooka, the BAR, and Springfield, if I'm right, the Colt 1911. That's the engine of the C-47. We have a parachute. So yeah, this is the part where it has a brief history of the 82nd Airborne and generally American paratroopers prior to D-Day.
This will be your baptism of fire. So that you may identify it in enemy territory, you will use the password FLASH. You'll hear the answer, thunder. You also have a cricket, similar to the one I'm holding right here. If you are alone in the middle of the night, pressing and releasing this blade will make a clicking sound. You will hear 2 clickety-clacks in reply. Drop zone D, Agonville au plan. From 0131, the missions of the 1st and 2nd 501st PIR, the 3rd 506 PIR, and Company C of the 326th Airborne Engineer Battalion will be to protect the southern flank towards Cameron. Take La Barquette Lock, blow up the bridges over the Doubs River, and capture the wooden bridges in the port.
This is the complete statue of an American paratrooper. Alright, this is the uniform of the Pathfinders. This is pretty interesting because he got his pistol belt and his cartridges, and he also has the extra cartridge on him. We have the equipment, and we got the weapons. The M1A1 Thompson, the M1 Garand, the M3A1 Grace Gun.
Chief of Staff to Supreme Allied Commander. Le commandement est confié au général britannique Frederick E. Morgan.
Oh, we got Ruperts. As I said, these were used by the Allies to confuse the Germans. General George S. Patton, right over there. More Ruperts. More statues of American paratroopers.
En mai 1943, la conférence Friedland entre Roosevelt et Churchill détermine que le débarquement à l'ouest doit avoir lieu en mai 1944. En août 1943, le général Morgan présente, lors de la conférence Cadran, les prémices de l'opération. Le Combined Chief of Staff demande à Morgan d'élaborer un deuxième débarquement dans le sud de la France. L'opération NT absolue.
That's James Gavin. The M1 steel helmet, M1 model steel adopted heavy helmet of General James Gavin. That's James Gavin himself, Slim Jim. That's his helmet. It's pretty cool. Another paratrooper. These statues are pretty cool. And who's that? Okay, that's Matthew Ridgway. And I think these are the boots worn by Matthew Ridgway. That's pretty cool. So here we have General Matthew Ridgway, commander of the 82nd Airborne on D-Day. And what is this? An M1942 parachute worn by Colonel Robert M. Piper. Of course, this is post-war. And this is the German room. So the German equipment. It's the Fallschirmjäger. That's from the Georgian Legion again. Ost Battalion, I think. Look into them and you see footage. That's basically, you see inside like that. Yeah. And there you have uniform of a German officer. He has an Iron Heart. He's from the Wehrmacht, from the Heer. You can see his badges, his holster. And that's a Panzerfaust, MG34. And what's this? That's a liturgical vermouth used by the chaplains. There's a parachute over here that people usually can put on their backs, and then there's the equipment for a better view. You got the weapons like the Thompson, the M1 carbine, and the M1 Garand. Okay, so this is the end of the C-40. Oh my, that's a lot of light. It's kind of dark in there, and all of a sudden, anyway, so the area is lovely. A lot of flowers, and it's nice as spring. Now we're heading for the Operation Neptune Museum, about Operation Neptune. Now, what I have to say is that the Normandy, every single museum and every single place is so specifically detailed that you can basically, there's nothing to miss. Like, every single part of what happened on D-Day is detailed in this museum. So let's head for the Operation over here. Alright, so it's quite obvious. You got the 5 beaches: Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juneau, and Sword. The British 6th Airborne landed behind Sword, and the American 82nd and 101st landed behind Utah from this way. So let's enter and see what's going on. Alright, so again, we got airborne uniforms. Use the map as a scarf. Full equipment and gear. We're inside C-47. Medics, paratroopers, bazooka men, commanders, everyone's around. Let's see, this is Sainte Eglise, the church and American forces. Again, Sainte Eglise. These are German POWs and pictures of Sainte Eglise during World War II. Alright. This is a German soldier witnessing an American paratrooper who is landing. That's the Church of Sainte Eglise, and these are American forces taking cover. They're from the 82nd Airborne. Here we have Colonel James Gavin, who was in the 82nd. Later became the commander of the 82nd Airborne Division. There we have General Matthew Ridgway, commanding officer and commander of the 82nd Airborne Division. Here's a better view of the painting. And we're going... Paratroopers of the 82nd. They're setting up artillery to stop the Germans advancing. Beneath us is equipment. And there we have American paratroopers as well in the marches with very good sound effect. And will you look at that? That's a paratrooper who was killed or probably drowned because it had pretty heavy equipment and they drowned. They drowned in the marshes. Okay, there we. These are helmets. So, and I think that's for the 327. So you got the 327, the 506, the 502nd, and the 501st, all from the 101st Airborne. So obviously, if you don't know already, they used to draw these to identify their regiments and battalions on their helmets. That's the German point of view. Then we have a horse. Okay. Captain from the 82nd with an M3A1 Grayska. You can even hear the cricket. Pretty cool. That's for Chaplain. You can see probably bullets. For a paratrooper liner. That's the gospel according to Saint Matthew. But spoke the word only, and my servant shall be healed, for I'm a man under authority, having soldiers. And I say to this man, go, he goeth, and to another, come in memory of the people of Normandy who suffered. Then we have this of probably VE Day uniforms, M42s. That's probably for Operation Market Garden. It's M43. And that's probably for the Battle of the Bulge. And this is also for the 17 Airborne, probably for Operation Varsity in Germany. So basically, the memory of all the conflicts and after the war, Sainte Eglise for a short time. For the movie, The Longest Day was turned, I mean, like as it was turned into a film studio as a main square with all the crew and everyone. And yeah, here we exit. This way. Yeah. Memorial for the Airborne Forces. The 82nd had 1,142 killed and 3,000 wounded. The 101st had 868 killed and 2,000 wounded. The British had 821 killed from the 6th Airborne and 2,709 wounded. Canadian Parachute Battalion had 83 killed and 187 wounded. Yeah, there you have it. Then further on we have the memorial for the 82nd Airborne, I believe, in Normandy. Yep, there we have it. There you have the Tehran Conference of 1943, the Allied Chief of Staff Commanders. It is Sainte Eglise. Over there is John Steele, 3rd Battalion of the 505th. This memorial